is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray, Gordy Jones. We are back at OG&E Coliseum. The Carl Albert Lady Titans won earlier today over the Newcastle Racers. These two schools about to match up again in the boys state championship game, 5A basketball. It is the Carl Albert Titans versus the Newcastle Racers for the boys championship. And what an exciting game this is shaping up to be. They played last week. Last week, these two teams met up in the area tournament. It was the Newcastle Racers coming out on top by 3, 56-53. Thank you for your good memory and getting that, Jordan. A 27-2 record on the season for the Racers, a 27-3 record on the season for the Titans.
And, that was, you called that game, I'll call you Gordy. Gordy called the game with you, Tracy. You called that game. It was a very evenly matched game. Carl Albert had a lead at one point late in that game, and Newcastle just executed down the stretch a little bit better. They won by 3. Well, since then, Carl Albert boys, I think they played outstanding basketball. The quality of the teams they beat and the way they played in those victories has been truly impressive. Newcastle looks like the physically dominant team just because of T.J. Williams and then the quickness of their guards.
Joey Folsom
especially, yeah.
Yes.
And then Ivan Antwi-Donkar, very important. He stays out of foul trouble. Didn't matter against Midwest City.
He got in foul trouble in both of the two previous games in the state tournament.
Yeah, that's right, and it's just going to be interesting to see. I think Carl Albert has a bit of a depth advantage. I think Newcastle has the better starting 5, and we'll see which can win out. Obviously, shooting's going to be very important. Carl Albert girls, they were able to win after that loss to Newcastle because whatever building they were in, they were ready to go out there and shoot well. And they also played a mentally tougher game. They made fewer mistakes than Newcastle girls in that game earlier today. So which team is going to make fewer mistakes will be a big part of what happens. Who's going to adapt to the refs, not commit dumb turnovers, not commit too many charges, which was a big deal in the girls' game. I don't know if these teams draw charges like the Carl Albert girls do, but you get the idea. A lot of factors will go into this, but we're expecting a close game because physically speaking, these teams are very, very evenly matched.
And you mentioned adapting to the refs. We have no idea how this game will be called. Different officials in every game today, so really don't know how these are going to be called. We've got Gordy Jones down on the floor. He's about ready to interview some coaches for us. So let's switch over to Gordy Jones.
All right, thanks, Tracy. Thanks, Jordan. I appreciate you guys. Down here with the great coach, Jesse Brown. Coach Brown, again, congratulations on making it to this point, Coach. First question, Coach. What would you like to do better this game that was different from that last game?
Just play a little tougher. They came out with real physical with us. I think we answered the call, but I think we had we took an early lead and kind of struggled off of there with a couple calls. But I think we just need to stay locked in and just do what we've been doing.
Right.
Yeah.
You started 0 right the last game. Is there anything as far as that matchup goes? Are you going to keep that same lineup, or do you plan on switching up something different?
Keep the same lineup. I think it's good for us.
So finally, Coach, what's the key tonight to winning this championship game?
I'm gonna say like I always say, do what we do. Like we work on this type of stuff, and for us, I don't want to make it bigger than what it is. It's a big game, but it's a game. It's another game for us, and we deserve this. We worked our butts off for this, and so we need to make sure it happens.
Good luck to you, Coach. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gordy. And in a minute, he's going to find Coach Price. In fact, he's walking in that direction right now. So I know Gordy can hear us. So, Gordy, you will just take over whenever you're ready with that.
All right, thanks, Jordan. Thank you, Coach Price. Yes, sir. Again, congratulations. Coach Price is looking really good tonight. Congratulations on making it to this point, Coach.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I asked Coach Brown the same thing, Coach. What would you like to do different or better than you did last game?
Well, we let them get out on a quick start, put us down. We were down early, had to fight back, used a lot of energy to fight back. We did. We actually took the lead late in the game. We couldn't hold on to it, but I'd like to have a little bit better start, keep it a little more even. Maybe we could stretch it out a little bit towards the end of the game and finish it off with free throws and taking care of the basketball. But they're hard to stop. It's just going to be a matter of us trying not to get behind early and keep our tempo.
Well, Coach, for most of these players, many have dreamt about a game, like this, and you've been in a situation like this. So what do you want them to most enjoy about a moment?
Well, we talked about it in the locker room, we work all day long. You talk about one day, this day. So here we are. Not many people get an opportunity to play this day, but today it is. So let's go make the most of it and enjoy it.
So final question, Coach. You've been in this moment before, so what are your keys to bringing home another championship?
Just be yourself. Play calm. Play our game. We've played 30 games. We've been pretty successful. Just keep doing the things that we're good at.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Good luck, Coach. Can't wait. Thank you, sir. All right, back to you guys.
All right, here we are at OG&E Coliseum State Fairgrounds, brand new facility, beautiful, well lit, and a good crowd here today for the state championship games. Again, in the previous 5A game, it was the Carl Albert Lady Titans getting the victory, winning the state championship over the Newcastle Lady Racers. Our banner sponsor for this tournament has been Whataburger, located on Douglas Boulevard. Whataburger's new Whata Deal has big flavor for a small price, like the new Big Ranch Wrap, premium Whata Chicken Bites, or the Bacon Cheese Whataburger Jr. Try one today, Whataburger on Douglas Boulevard. And our title sponsor throughout the playoffs is Oklahoma High School Girls Between the Lines. Join Coach Vic and Tony Johnson as they do thoughtful analysis, in-depth conversations, and meaningful coverage of programs across the state on their podcast, Oklahoma High School Girls Between the Lines. We're getting ready for our starting lineups.
They may also have national anthem because this is the first game of this. Or no, it's the second game. Never mind.
Yeah, this is the second. I don't think we'll have national anthem here.
Yeah.
Our starting lineups for the Newcastle race. Let's see. Carl Albert actually is the visitor on the scoreboard, right?
Yes.
So Carl Albert starting lineup brought to you by Precision Nutrition. For all your nutrition needs in one shaker tea, come to Precision Nutrition, located at 4603 Southeast 29th Street, Suite 105 in Del City. You can order over the phone, call 405-672-0999. Starting lineups about to be introduced here in the stadium, and we'll go ahead and get started here for the Carl Albert Titans, coached by Coach Jay Price, who you heard from just a moment ago with Gordy Jones. A 6'1 junior, number 1, Elijah Matthews. A 6'2 senior, number 3, Jordan Hawkins. A 6'5 junior, number 10, Austin Johnson. A 6'2 senior, number 21, Brandon Rogers. And a 6'2 senior, number 23, LeBron Royal. Starting lineup for your Carl Albert Titans. Again, head coach, Jay Price. Assistant coaches, Cameron Couch, Chaz Davis, Paxton Kilby. Trainer is Michael Thompson, and the managers, Leona Hall, Zoe Looney, Natalie Moore, and Riley Strong. Newcastle Racers starting lineup is brought to you by, make sure I get this right, we got our
HMS.
Yeah, HMS
There's a lot of
Cooling,
things to
Heating
talk
and
about
Plumbing.
HMS.
HMS Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, serving residential homes, commercial businesses in Newcastle and the entire metro area for more than 40 years. Roger, Karen, Chris, and the team would love to take care of your HVAC and plumbing needs. Don't stress, call HMS. 405-392-5413 or go to hmscomfort.com to view all their services. Also, don't forget to ask about the Comfort Keeper program that provides discounts and keeps your system running smooth and reliable all year long. Starting lineup for the Newcastle Racers, the 5'11 junior, number 1, Joey Folsom. A 6'2 senior, number 3, Colton Brammer. A 6'4 senior, number 4, Ivan Antwi-Dunkor. A 6'8 senior, number 5, TJ Williams. And make sure we've got our final one right. Yeah. A 6'8 sophomore, number 14, got the start yesterday as well, getting the start here today, Owen Wright. Our opening tip brought to you by the Del City Chamber of Commerce. They are your trusted resource for advocacy, education, and engagement to help you improve your business, the Del City Chamber of Commerce. We got through all the business there on time. Our first period will be brought to you by Focus Federal Credit Union. Focus Federal Credit Union says, hey, you want more money in your pocket? When you open a new MasterCard with Focus Federal Credit Union, you'll enjoy a low 1.99% APR for the first 6 months. It's a smart move for consolidating balances, planning for the holidays, or handling life surprises with confidence. Plus, you'll get all the perks of banking local. Friendly service, fast support, and people who actually know your name. Apply at FocusOK.com today. Your vision, our focus. Focus Federal Credit Union. Jordan Hawkins jumping against TJ Williams.
So let's see if Newcastle with TJ Williams has a bit of advantage here, obviously, when you look at the players. You can see what I'm talking about. Will Newcastle run some type of set play coming off the tip?
Officials are ready, but one of them is leaving the floor to take care of some business real quick. Not sure what he's going to grab. One of the officials is heading back to the officials' locker room, so we're going to have just a brief delay before we get started here. Both teams are out on the court ready to go. Coach Jay Price says, hey, it's an official timeout. I don't know why.
And after a while, what you see both coaches, well, again, we can't show videos, so we're describing what we're seeing. Both coaches bring their players in for a quick mini huddle, which hopefully is nothing more than a mini huddle.
Got some experience with a few of these officials. Seen them call games in the past. Young man that's down here under the basket on our right, I've seen him call a few games. He can get pretty excited during a ball game.
Yep, and I'll say it again. It just stood out to me in the Carl Albert girls game. Newcastle is probably the more talented team, but they made more mistakes. Carl Albert played a smarter game, and that kind of is expected when you're led by two seniors who have a ton of experience in Jakari Brown and Audrey Plunkett.
Now, a ton of seniors on this Newcastle starting lineup.
Yes, and we know their experience just wasn't with Newcastle.
Right. Williams gets the ball up in the air. It's a battle for it, and Williams is the one who comes down with it after it came off about 4 players.
But no numbers advantage there, so Carl Albert starting out in a man. Austin Johnson guarding Williams, and already has turnover on Newcastle.
Johnson manning up on Williams, just takes the ball away. So Carl Albert
deflected.
Carl Albert with the first offensive set here, really. Rogers out top, Matthews looking inside. Royal sets a screen. Johnson at the free throw line, shot is up, and it's good. Carl Albert scores first.
Austin Johnson playing with a ton of confidence. He's shown he can score in a variety of ways, and he just needs a little bit of space, and he got it right there. Nice touch.
Folsom from the baseline, he hits it. 2-2 is the score. When these two teams matched up last week in area, it was an extremely physical game underneath, and expected to get that way today as well. It'll depend on exactly how the officials call the game, on exactly how physical it gets.
Antwi Donkar is guarding Brandon Rogers. Interesting decision there. I think that shows respect for Rogers and what a tear he's been on. He was the leading scorer for Carl Albert against Del City, even though we had Austin as our player of the game, rightfully so. And, of course, he had that fantastic game against Booker T. And the best perimeter defender for Newcastle is checking Rogers. So we'll see what Matthews can do. He has a size advantage against Folsom, but Folsom can battle.
Folsom poked the ball out a minute ago.
Well,
Matthews, though,
just as
drives
I say
all the
that,
way to the hole on him and scores.
Matthews made that look easy on Folsom. And if he continues to do that, you might need to switch onto Donkor on Matthews.
Interesting note, we had the 6A state championships yesterday. Norman pulled out the last-second shot to defeat Mustang, 54-52, and I was going back looking at their records. Both of them had great seasons, very few losses. They had a common opponent that they each lost to this year.
And that was late in the season, yeah.
Carl Albert, the only team that beat both of the two 6A finalists this year.
It was after district play. It was kind of like a tune-up game. I know Mustang, who beat Carl Albert by a much bigger margin in December, had a key player or two out. I don't know if that's true for Norman.
Driving in, Brammer kicks the ball back out to Folsom. He's looking inside, nothing there. Hawkins closes on Folsom. He misses the three. Royal gets way up in the air, showing some big hops and pulls down the rebound. Driving the baseline, taking right to the basket, kicks the ball in the hands of Austin Johnson, and now pass back out to Rogers. Royal trying that baseline again. Matthews for three. Set shot, no jumper. Drains it. Bobby Lewis Insurance three. Bobby Lewis Insurance has surprisingly great rates. 2 locations to serve you. Call them in Choctaw at 405-281-6700.
Came off Brandon Rogers with a good baseline drive. Folsom went to help out. Matthews was open. He has not been shooting well the last couple games, so that's a big sign for Carl Albert.
On Tweed on court, driving in, called for the travel. Good D by Royal. I know Royal was thinking, oh man, I got called for another foul, because happens early in the game to him every time, but the travel called on Tweed on court instead.
Yeah, he just didn't have a plan with what to do with the ball. It really was not a good scoring spot there.
Driving to the left side, Matthews has to pass that one off to Rogers. Coach Price made mention during the pregame interview that Carl Albert need to get off to a better start than they did last time, and that's exactly what they're doing. Hawkins for three. No good. Battle for the rebound, and Williams comes up with it. Brammer pushing the ball up the court.
What a no-look pass.
Right, drives in and lays that one over the edge.
Yeah, Colton Brammer looked a little out of control there, but he actually handled that fast break with perfection. Beautifully done. By the last possession, Brandon Rogers continues to hook his defender, and he got away with it against Del City a few times.
Johnson short on a three. Royal with the offensive board, throws it away. Oh, he chases down a loose ball, actually. Rogers, a deep three, front of the rim. Wright pulls down the rebound for Newcastle. On Tweed on court, driving into the paint, and a foul on Royal.
When he powers his way to the basket, he can go with such force, and Royal was not in position to draw a charge. And that's something I haven't talked a lot about this season, but I'm now going to talk about that a lot. Seeing some of the state tournament games, the teams that draw charges, they're the teams that are ready to defend the paint. It's not just about blocking shots, of course, as the first HMS free throws are missed.
On Tweed on court with the HMS free throws, the HMS cooling, heating, and plumbing free throws. Not able to connect. We are halfway through this Focus Federal Credit Union first period. On Tweed on court hits the second free throw. It's a 2-point game. Carl Albert gets the ball back, and Rogers brings the ball.
Did you hear that horn go off?
I did.
I don't know if that's allowed.
It is not.
Okay.
Didn't do it very loud. Someone will come looking for it soon, though. On Tweed on court picks up. Is it safe to call that a lazy foul?
I mean, he got hooked again.
Okay.
And Brandon Rogers should keep doing it until they call it. And Donkor tried to fight through it. And he's going to sub out. It's only his first foul, it looks like.
Yeah, just as soon as he got the foul call, he headed to the sideline.
It had him down for one on the scoreboard. I don't remember him committing another one.
Don't think so. I think he just stuffed something in his nose to stop a nosebleed.
Okay.
So that's why he headed to the sideline. His nose is bleeding.
I mean, they may need him to play a lot of minutes.
Under 4 minutes to play here in this Focus Federal Credit Union first period. Carl Albert with the ball, 2-point lead. Hawkins at the free throw line. Going to kick the ball back out. Carl Albert being patient. Matthews, 3 on the right wing, left wing. Brammer with the rebound. Gives it to Allen Price. He'll take, I thought he was going to take the 3. Folsom driving in, kicks it out, right for the 3. Back iron into the support structure. And it is a team rebound for the Titans.
Yeah, that was surprising that Owen Wilson, or not
Owen Wilson, huh?
Yeah, not Owen, like the actor, Owen Wright. I was actually thinking about Allen Price. He comes out there to shoot threes. I mean, that's one of his roles with Newcastle, and he passed up on a good one there. And Owen Wright ended up shooting a 3 on the other side of the floor and missed it.
Elijah Matthews walks the ball up the court slowly. Met by Folsom, passes off Royal, and Royal trying to feed it to Hawkins under the basket, hit the rim with the ball.
I'm not sure what he was seeing there.
Owen Wright driving in, misses a layup. Good defense by LeBron Royal. Brandon Rogers gets the rebound, brings the ball back up the court. Carl Albert's offense was pretty effective in the first couple of minutes. It's slowed down here under good defensive pressure by Newcastle. Carl Albert's defense continues to be effective right now, only giving up 5 points in the first 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, 2 of them were in transition.
Rogers to Royal on the left wing. Right back to Rogers for 3. Back iron, no good. And missing a putback is Matthews. Folsom gets a rebound, pushing it back down the court. Price in the corner for 3.
He got fouled.
Brandon Rogers called for the foul on the 3-point shooter. Coach Price looking at Rogers like shaking his head.
Austin Johnson did that against Del City. That was the top of the key 3 at the end of that game. Almost cost Carl Albert a lead.
Made 2 out of the 3.
Yep.
If they'd made 3, it would have been a problem. Yes.
And, of course, that was the big deal in Carl Albert's come-from-behind victory against Booker T. Still tending to Ivan Antudoncar over the Newcastle bench.
And shooting the HMS free throws, Allen Price hits the first. Don't forget to ask about the Comfort Keeper program that provides discounts and keeps your system running smooth and reliable all year long. Don't stress, call HMS. Price hits the first 2 free throws, ties it up with Carl Albert, and can give Newcastle the lead here at the line.
So we see Carl Albert bringing 2 subs off the bench. Thomas and Gibson Johnson. We'll probably see some, don't know why I temporarily forgot his name, Jackson Webster. See how Newcastle's bench does. Right now they brought in 1 player, and that's Allen Price. But they have a couple more they can go to as well.
Still tied up. Austin Johnson gets a rebound. Antwidon Core's back in the game for Newcastle. He's got some white stuff stuffed in his nose. Hate it when you get called for a foul and you're the one bleeding, right?
It's a double whammy for sure.
Gibson Johnson to Royal trying to back down T.J. Williams. Goes up off the glass, shot no good. Antwidon Core gets the rebound.
Wow, he kept
falling
his balance
down and managed to dribble through it.
Nice play by Williams, but wow, missed layup. Brammer, I don't know how he missed that.
A lot of missed layups by Newcastle already. And a block on a Matthews shot by Folsom.
Smallest guy on the court, but he timed his jump really well. Matthews recovers, though.
Darian Thomas going against Folsom. Picks up his dribble. Gives it to Matthews going the baseline, and 1 for Matthews. Matthews carefully doesn't get teed up as he's talking down T.J. Williams. They're going to have a conversation about the officials probably mentioning that. And it was a tee against Elijah Matthews.
Well, that means he's going to shoot 1 free throw. Newcastle's going to get the ball anyway unless Matthews misses his free throw, and no rebounding chance for Carl Albert.
Now, Newcastle will get free throws as well, right?
Yeah, Newcastle will have 2 free throws with their best free throw shooter on the floor. Coach Price talking to one of the refs about it. But again, it's in high school and college, it's a personal foul. It's not just a technical foul. Elijah's really not that type of guy to get that. Obviously, there's probably some chirping on the floor that led to that.
And that was his first foul. We have 2 fouls on Newcastle, 4 on Carl Albert now. Colton Brammer misses the first free throw. This is Elijah Matthews hitting the Toonie Buys Houses free throw, and now Colton Brammer shooting the HMS Cooling free throws.
Brammer made a good play earlier, but missed a free throw and a layup. So, again, who's going to kind of take advantage of those shots you're supposed to make?
Still a 2-point game. Carl Albert on top, 1:13 to play, and it's Newcastle ball, side out at midcourt. Folsom crosses the timeline with the ball. Matthews on D. Don't expect to see Matthews make that mistake again. Pass inside to Williams. Williams to Doncourt. Royal knocks it out of his hands. Loose ball. Gibson Johnson hits it, and Darian Thomas comes up with it. We got Jax Wilkerson in the game now for Carl Albert.
TJ Williams just wasn't lost, just a little sloppy on his part again. So I'd say right now, early on, Newcastle's making some more mistakes other than the Matthews technical for Carl Albert.
Thomas from the free throw line, front of the rim, shot no good, gets his own long rebound. Folsom blocks him and picks the ball away from him. And now Brammer going to the hole, alley-oop. Williams lays it in. We're tied up 10-10 with 21 seconds left on the clock. First period brought to you by Focus Federal Credit Union.
Racers have been at their best when they're racing. Their transition has been mostly good. They have missed a couple layups out of it, though, but they've gotten their best looks. And that was a great alley-oop play. A little high for T.J. Williams, but not that high.
Elijah Matthews going against Folsom, pulls up for the elbow jumper. He hits it. It's a 2-point lead for Carl Albert after 1 period of play. 12-10 the score on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
CFD. Our mission is to deliver quality dentistry by providing big practice benefits with a little practice feel. Since 2008, we've updated our look, technology, and have added new smiles to our tenured staff to better care for you right here at home. Convenience for you is one of our biggest goals, and we often provide same-day treatment to minimize your time off work. We are open Monday through Friday to serve you. Visit cfdok.com for details. We look forward to seeing you at our big little practice.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray, Gordy Jones, back at the OG&E Coliseum. Gordy, are you with us over there? What do you hear from coaches during that break at the end of the first period?
Yeah, Tracy. Coach Price was just really emphasizing getting back in transition. Really wanting to make sure to do it as far as all these offensive rebounds that they're collecting. Wanted to make sure that they get back and they don't allow the Newcastle Racers to kind of penetrate to the basket on these fast breaks. Like I said, his main emphasis, he said it millions, he probably said it 3 or 4 times, get back on defense, get back on defense. Do not allow anybody to penetrate that lane.
Thank you, Gordy. LeBron Royal missing one from the elbow.
Good job by Brammer. He saw Royal did not want an alley-oop to T.J. Williams. He never committed to guarding Brammer, so if you're a ball handler, you keep the ball until a defender commits to you. If they don't commit to you, you go all the way in for the layup.
Tied up 12-12. We are in the Chris Dunn Allstate Agent second period. Chris knows what life is like in Newcastle. You choose your car and your home to fit your lifestyle and your budget. He also knows how important it is to do the same when it comes to insurance. He looks forward to getting to know you and helping you find the solutions that meet your needs. Call Chris Dunn, Allstate Agent, today, 405-392-2390.
He got Sloan really banging right now with Jax Wilkerson underneath.
About John Trey Sloan in to do that, maybe avoid a foul trouble for someone else.
Like T.J. Williams, yeah, you're right.
Oh, what a play by Darian Thomas. He goes in among the trees and puts up the shot. He's going to get the N1.
All that attention to Wilkerson, maybe the reason that Newcastle did not get that rebound there, and that's been a bit of a problem for them. They've given Carl Albert some second chance points, and Darian Thomas, he just finds a way to score and be at the right place at the right time.
Coach Price giving Jax Wilkerson some encouragement as he goes to the bench. Checking back into the game is Austin Johnson. And Jax, the freshman, battling with the senior, John Trey Sloan down there, gaining some good experience. Darian Thomas hits the Toonie Buys Houses free throws. Remind you that Toonie Buys Homes in any condition. If you're someone you know needs to sell a home for any reason, call today for a cash offer, 405-931-3046. Ivan Antwi-Donkor out top, passes off, and Austin Johnson knocks that ball right into the screen of a laptop at media row.
Well, if he didn't do that, that pass may have gone out of bounds. It looked like Brammer and Folsom were not quite in sync there, which I know they've been teammates before this year, I believe at Southmore, so they are usually in sync.
Folsom running point. Antwi-Donkor out top, goes right. 3 from Donkor. It's way short and out of bounds. Well, we've seen a lot of air balls in the state tournament.
Well, you can understand why it would happen at Lloyd Noble because they're shooting from the longer three-point line, but
yes,
not the problem here. So Antwi-Donkor just kind of out of it right now.
Matthews misses the drive on the layup on the drive. Long rebound, tipped out, and Brandon Rogers chases it down. Austin Johnson going in, drawing the foul. That'll be on T.J. Williams, I believe.
He swiped down. That will often get him in trouble, or any player in trouble.
Foul's on T.J. Williams. That'll be his second personal foul. 2 team fouls on Newcastle, none on Carl Albert here in this Chris Dunn All-State Agent second period. It's a 3-point lead for Carl Albert. Austin Johnson shooting the Toonie Buys Houses free throws. He hits the first. Shooters roll over the front of the rim.
We have Sloan come out, replaced by Owen Wright.
Johnson takes 2 dribbles, a little spin from the ball, puts up the second shot. It's good as well, and it is a 5-point lead for Carl Albert, 17-12. Folsom taking his time. In the previous matchup, it was Newcastle with the early lead in the game. Held on to it for a while before Carl Albert fought back and took a late lead. Eventually, it was Newcastle winning. Right now, it's Carl Albert with the early lead in this matchup. Foul on Elijah Matthews.
Yeah, I think the problem for Newcastle is T.J. Williams and Ivan Antwi-Donkor have done not much on offense, especially in the half court. They've got to find a way to get them easy baskets.
Credit the Carl Albert defense for that one. Owen Wright hands the ball back off to Folsom after the inbound pass. Donkor on the right wing, inside, right at the elbow, down low to Williams, but Austin Johnson steals it away. Johnson with enough reach, he could just get up in the air and tip that pass away.
Williams never had the position, never had the seal he needed, and Owen Wright's got to read that. So, again, we're talking about mistakes. Newcastle's making more mistakes right now.
Rogers goes left off the screen by Royal. Royal at the right elbow, trying to back down Owen Wright. Gets around him, puts up the shot, and a travel called on LeBron Royal.
You know, I watched some highlights of the game these teams played 8 days ago. Royal got a shot repeatedly blocked by T.J. Williams, and he's going to have a hard time scoring inside against Williams or Wright. So I don't know if he's the guy that wants to be aggressive here.
Brammer for 3, shot's no good. Ball tipped up, out of bounds, and it's going to stay with Newcastle.
Shooting so far, we've seen Elijah Matthews make a couple threes. Newcastle has not made one yet. So, again, who's ready to shoot on this floor that these teams are playing on for the first time?
Williams catches the ball in the paint off the inbound pass, goes right up for the 6-foot shot off the tip, and cannot connect.
He's too far away for that. He could just come down and shoot because no one's going to block his shot.
Yeah, he had good control, but I agree with you.
Could just come down. So, again, the mistakes.
Austin Johnson to Rogers. Rogers for 3. Boom! It's the Bobby Lewis Insurance 3. Call Bobby Lewis Insurance in Del City at 405-670-3665. 30-second timeout called by Coach Jesse Brown. The Newcastle Racers. We are in the Chris Dunn All-State Agent second period, and it's Carl Albert on top of the Racers here early in this one.
Gordy, anything? How are the Newcastle fans sounding? Because unlike the last game, you're now close to the Newcastle fans.
Right, down here, giving Coach Brown a listen right now in the huddles. But like I said, Newcastle, a little bit somber right now. Just kind of waiting for something to kind of spark up. I think with this lead that Carl Albert has, kind of got beside themselves just a little bit nervous out here, Jordan, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I think Newcastle looks like they have more nerves.
Really couldn't get
4:44 left to play here in this Chris Dunn Allstate Agent fourth period. Gordy, get some stat sheets for us, possibly.
Yeah, I got you.
Brammer bringing the ball up the court after the timeout. An 8-point lead for Carl Albert now, 20-12. Matthews tips the ball away. Wright comes up with it. Folsom misses a three from the corner. Antwi Core with the rebound and his foul on the putback. That may be Rogers' second personal foul.
Has to be on Rogers. No one else was near him. That could be a way Newcastle can catch back up. Antwi Donkar and T.J. Williams need to be a factor on the offensive glass.
Antwi Donkar at the line, shooting the HMS Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing free throws, and he misses the first. Cole Seeley checking into the game, sophomore, as Owen Wright takes a seat. Both of them sophomores. Seeley doesn't have the height of Wright, but he has shown that he gets in and battles hard for rebounds and has quick feet. Also prone to make a few fouls early.
Well, someone from Newcastle needs to hit a shot, so maybe that will be Cole Seeley.
Donkor hits the second free throw, cuts the lead to 7. Rogers with the ball on the left wing, takes a little shove. Johnson for three, long. Donkor gets pushed back, and I believe that's going to be on LeBron Royal. Be his second personal if it is. And it is on LeBron Royal. Good call. He kind of got a hold of Donkor and slung him behind him.
He may need to come out. LeBron Royal is a very intelligent basketball player, but it's hard for him to stay out of foul trouble. But you know, his last game as a Carl Albert Titan for basketball coach Price right now is going to let him ride it out.
Folsom out top, Brammer on the right wing, looking inside Williams at the high post. Williams down low, Donkor can't hang on to the ball. Back to Williams for three, it's short. Donkor up over Royal, gets the rebound, body's falling, and a foul will be called, I believe, on Jordan Hawkins. That'll be his first.
That could have gone either way.
I thought it was going to be an offensive foul when the whistle blew.
But still not free throws for Newcastle, but they're now in the bonus from out here on out for this quarter.
Brammer over the top to Donkor. Donkor driving, travel. No, jump ball. It'll stay with Newcastle. Well, that's a good way to get the possession arrow in your favor at least, right? That is a positive
so it's still a break for Carl Albert, but Donkar, he had no driving lane there. So he needs to do something that can get him separation, maybe make a spin move pivot one way.
Well, I believe he's trying to get the third foul on Royal, but he turned into three defenders.
Well, they're leaving Folsom open.
Folsom in the corner, kicks the ball out to Williams. Now back to Folsom, who's driving in, goes up, nice move, and Williams gets the offensive board, but Austin Johnson takes it away from him.
I think Williams just bounced it too hard. Again, we got nerves for Newcastle.
Rogers out top, Bremer on D. Johnson bounces out, Williams defending. Rogers looked like he was going to take that three. It was way out there. Johnson around Williams, goes up, misses the shot, tips it out. Rogers gets the long rebound. Skip pass to Matthews. He takes the three. It's short. And Matthews drives in, just takes the ball away from Seeley, misses the putback. Rebound Newcastle. Brammer driving on Rogers. Turn around and travels.
Rogers stayed with him. He didn't really have a good driving lane there. And no one from Newcastle's playing very great on offense. They got the players that can score, but they don't have that one great volume scorer, that the player that they need to take over. They just got to try to do it as a team right now, but they're not getting it done at the moment.
It's been almost 3 minutes of clock time since someone scored now. Last point was free throw by Ivan Antwi-Donkor. He gets up and pulls down the rebound off of an Austin Johnson miss. Brammer in the corner, inside to Williams.
Well, Williams just has bad hands right now.
Yeah, he's really bodied up in there by defenders. I think Carl Albert kind of had an arm wrapped around him, but he still should have caught that pass. It goes through his hands and back into Carl Albert's hands. Johnson on the left wing passes off to Matthews. Matthews corner, Rogers three. No good. Antwi Doncourt with the rebound. Pushing the ball down the court. Driving through Hawkins and a travel on Antwi Doncourt.
I just don't know why he's doing that. The paint's too clogged. Carl Albert having everyone back.
They're feeling confident driving, but Carl Albert is collapsing defensively on them in the paint, and they're making mistakes when that defense collapses on them. We've got a 30-second timeout. I believe this one was called by Coach Price. I'm not 100% sure. 2 minutes left to play into this Chris Dunn All-State Agent second period, and the score still 20-13. We're nearing a 4-minute drought of scoring in this ball game.
Yeah, Newcastle's defense hasn't been bad. They're staying attached to their man for the most part. They've rebounded better the last few minutes. Again, they just don't know what to do on offense right now. And I don't think Carl Albert's doing anything special, but Carl Albert's really good.
Looking for Gordy over there to see if he's close to one of our huddles during that timeout.
I didn't get close there, Jordan. Sorry, Jordan. But no, Tracy didn't get close to that since it was a 30-second timeout. Last time I kind of got there a little bit late. Coach Brown is a little bit further from the bench. I'll have to try to see if I can get him on that next one.
Thanks, Gordy. Just looking over at the benches,
right?
You got the assistant coaches for Newcastle all wearing same outfit with a black vest and white sleeves, and you got some coaches dressed up, assistant coaches dressed up over here for Carl Albert.
Carl Albert down there looking sharp.
You have Colton Brammer just called for reach and foul. 13 foul on Newcastle, so their foul situation has been good this quarter.
Rogers to inbound, side out. Royal takes the inbound pass back to Rogers. Things moving slow right now. Both teams being patient, or I should say Carl Albert being patient offensively. Hawkins running the baseline. And a double dribble called on Austin Johnson. He didn't pick the ball up, and maybe he had both hands on the ball on that last dribble.
And Carl Albert's been a little lethargic on offense.
Well, I said patient, but lethargic there for sure. No movement away from the ball. Loose ball, Brammer falls down. Matthews picks it up, feeds it to Rogers down the court. Back to Matthews. Rogers out top, driving on Doncourt, and a foul called on Doncourt. That'll be his second foul. Maybe third. That'll be his third personal foul.
Man, he has just not had.
He's had a difficult state tournament.
Yeah, after having a really good area game 8 days ago. And he was in fine position if he didn't have his left hand on Rogers. And that's probably why the foul is called. And TJ Williams is going to also remain on the bench. So who's going to create offense for Newcastle?
Well, Newcastle's going with a guard-heavy lineup right now. Owen Wright, the only significant height on the court for them. John Trey Sloan, TJ Williams, Antwi Doncourt, all on the bench. And we're going to have a foul on Cole Seeley as Jordan Hawkins was shooting. I don't know if it was a 3 or a 2. He just signaled it was a 2. Foul is on Cole Seeley, number 2, and we're shooting 2 free throws. Hawkins was just inside the three-point line over in the corner.
And who's making the more mistakes? Carl Albert's making some dead ball turnovers, but that doesn't hurt your defense. Although missing free throws, so that evens out things a little bit. Jordan Hawkins missed the first.
Misses that Tunibuys Houses free throw, and that scoring drought continues. It's still 20-13 here with a minute left to play. Hawkins misses the next free throw. Wright pulls down the rebound. Folsom gets in a little trouble, passes off to Owen Wright. Corner, Folsom, a deep 3. It's short. And rebound out of bounds off the hands of Jackson Webster, who's in the game for Carl Albert.
This has not been a pretty quarter of basketball.
Jordan, you're right.
I,
Seems like the racers just not really getting comfortable. They're just kind of out of sorts from what they normally were. Just not able to get in any type of groove right now.
Well, let's just say these two defenses are making it hard on each other.
No doubt, Tracy.
A foul called on Carl Albert right after the inbound play. The foul was on the floor, I think, but
Should be
it's 5
free throws.
fouls on each team, so 2 free throws coming.
Webster.
Jackson Webster picks up his first.
That was a bit ticky-tack. But the interesting, they posted up Jackson Webster, who's really strong.
Colton Brammer ends the scoring drought. About 5 minutes of a scoring drought here. 55 seconds left on the clock in this Chris Dunn Allstate age second period. And Colton Brammer puts a point on the board for Newcastle. It's now a 6-point game. Brammer's second shot is up as well, and it's good. Making a 5-point game. Gibson Johnson in the ball game. Darian Thomas, Jordan Hawkins, Elijah Matthews, Brandon Rogers for Carl Albert, Joey Folsom, Colton Brammer, TJ Williams back in, Owen Wright, and Alan Price for Newcastle.
All 5 guys for Carl Albert can shoot threes. Can they try to draw maybe TJ Williams in the paint and kick it out to a 3-point shooter?
Gibson Johnson just holding the ball under his arm right now. 30 seconds left, waiting for the final shot of the period. Rogers near half court, hanging on to the ball. Newcastle settled back in that zone defense, just allow him to hang on to it. Matthews now, we're at the 10-second mark. Trying to drive on Folsom. Gets inside, goes up, shot no good. And Matthews steals the ball away from Owen Wright on the rebound. Ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to be
no foul.
End of the period. It's halftime.
Williams fell hard on his back. I think he's now wanting a foul, but he's not going to get it. Now he heads to the locker room.
After watching these two teams play throughout the season, watching them battle in the area tournament, seeing them both play in the first 2 rounds of the state tournament, Gordy, are you with me? Would you ever have guessed the score would be so low here at halftime?
Definitely, Tracy. Kind of surprised and shocked by, we knew there'd be a little bit of tension, between these two teams, especially when you play some team twice. There's going to be a lot of defensive pressure. A lot of things will be kind of indifferent. But this time you can kind of tell Coach Price, having so much experience in this moment, has kind of been able to set his players up for success at the moment. Like I said, just kind of keeping Newcastle out of that paint, kind of keep them at bay. And, of course, we are used to seeing Yvonne Antwi, Doncourt, and TJ Williams kind of go off. But, like I said, with these foul troubles and this pressure, they just haven't really been able to kind of get off to what they normally have done.
It's been an interesting first half. Jordan, you were talking about it felt like they were out of sync or just ugly basketball in that second period. But, again, you got two teams playing defense.
Yep.
And that's good basketball, even though it's not entertaining basketball.
Yeah, so they're going to make you make tougher shots, but you got to figure out how to do that. And Carl Albert started to get stagnant on offense. They got called for a couple travels, double dribbles in the second quarter, missed a couple free throws.
Now the travels and the double dribbles and stuff are ugly basketball for sure.
Right. Newcastle, we saw TJ Williams just not handle the ball well 2 or 3 times when, it wasn't really forced. I think he did it to himself. So those are some ways that we could see some cleaner basketball, maybe see some better offensive basketball in the second half.
And we might see which coach is able to make the best adjustments at halftime, get things going better for them. But the score here at halftime, 20-15, the Carl Albert Titans leading the Newcastle Racers at half in this 5A state championship game on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Our mission is to deliver quality dentistry by providing big practice benefits with a little practice feel. Since 2008, we've updated our look, technology, and have added new smiles to our tenured staff to better care for you right here at home. Convenience for you is one of our biggest goals, and we often provide same-day treatment to minimize your time off work. We are open Monday through Friday to serve you. Visit cfdok.com for details. We look forward to seeing you at our big little practice.
At Tommy's Express Car Wash, we know how to love your ride. Try the Works Wash with our signature 14-step cleaning process, engineered to shine and shield your car from the elements. From breaking down dirt and bugs with our Detox Pre-Wash to restoring your vehicle's finish with our ceramic body wax. Give your car the best with our Top Wash. Then complete the clean with free vacuums and mat washers. Download our app and get your first 30 days of the works for free. Tommy's Express. Love your ride.
Like there was a time when you'd have to put a hole there and 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 there. But this is just the same basic hole, and then you pick the direction you want to go.
Just having a 3-mile lateral, I think you're eliminating something like 60 wells that you'd have to put in.
That's a great leap forward.
You're able to tap the reservoir, and you have less of a footprint.
It never fails to blow me away.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rollovers. If you've been in a wreck, don't hesitate to call us. This is why you need our number in your phone. This could be you.
When you call our firm, you're going to get one of us, not some paralegal or office manager.
Most lawyers, they take more money than their clients. Most of the time, a lot more.
We don't, and we guarantee it.
Isn't just where you live, it's where you thrive. Elevate it with a roof that reflects your standards. At Cantrell Roofing, we deliver efficiency and high-quality installations. Our A-plus BBB certified team performs the highest level of craftsmanship, and our in-house insurance adjuster handles claims fast and stress-free. Backed by 30 years of experience, our 5-star Google rating reflects the trust we've earned. The better your roof is built, the better it holds up in the Oklahoma weather. Remember, got hail? Call Cantrell.
Introducing Pioneer's new fiber internet bundle plans. Start with gig fiber internet, then add up to 3 options like Arlo secure outdoor cameras and a video doorbell. Fast, secure, and made for you. Visit gopioneer.com today. Stuck inside for Wi-Fi? Not this summer. With Pioneer Fiber, get backyard Wi-Fi up to 950 feet from your home, so you can binge, game, Zoom, or work straight from your hammock. Add it for just $9.95 a month or get it free with a gig bundle. That's cheaper than your cold brew fix. Visit a Pioneer store or gopioneer.com and level up your summer.
You can look up at our screen right here. That's our lifeboat. That's how we know what's going on at 14,700 foot.
Because you're completely blind otherwise.
That's correct.
People don't really understand the level of tech that's going on.
Yes, sir. Well, this whole thing is extremely high tech. I mean, just the ability to be able to drill down 13,000 feet and then put 90-degree turn in the well and then drill out another 3 miles.
It doesn't matter how casually you say it. It's a freaking miracle, man.
Yes, sir.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray, Gordy Jones back at OG&E Coliseum. Had the officials against cancer out on the court at halftime. Took up a lengthy period of time, but a moving moment as a young man talked about his victory over cancer and the support from the officials here in the state of Oklahoma. And we are nearing time for the second half of this game with the Carl Albert Titans leading the Newcastle Racers 20-15, a very low-scoring affair in the first half. Some ugly play Jordan described with some turnovers, unforced turnovers even, and some good defensive play by both teams in the first half as well. Anything from the stat sheet, Gordy, Jordan, anything you see that we need to bring to the listeners' attention here?
I think I forgot my stat sheet, but the one thing that was really surprising was the leading scorer right now for the Racers, only 5 points from Colton Brammer. The rest of the gentlemen on the Racers only have 2 points apiece. So, like I said, these foul troubles, and I said the field goal percentage, of course, the second half for both teams, just really not really getting anything to land. So that first quarter, both teams kind of came out busting, but this second half, just not really the same identity.
Yeah, as we look at Carl Albert has 2 points from turnovers. Newcastle has none. Carl Albert has 5 second chance points. Newcastle has 3. Those are not big differences. The one big difference in those type of stats, Newcastle has 8 points for fast breaks, and Carl Albert has none. But so most of Newcastle's points, over half of them, coming off a transition.
But Newcastle hasn't got enough of those. They've been in the half court much more often. And Carl Albert, 10 more shots. That's because they've gotten a few offensive rebounds, 7. And fewer turnovers. Those are 2 ways to get more shots, is get offensive rebounds and don't commit turnovers. Only 3 for Carl Albert. Newcastle's committed 8 turnovers.
Newcastle with no makes from beyond the arc in the first half on 7 attempts. That's also been a problem for them. Matthews, the leading scorer of the game, misses a 3. TJ Williams goes up for the rebound. LeBron Royal makes a little bit of contact, and Williams slides down. Royal be called for his 3rd personal foul.
That's big. That's a 3rd foul on LeBron Royal, but I don't know why T.J. Williams is even falling. I don't think that's flopped. It's just strange to me he doesn't have his balance better.
I wonder if there wasn't a wet spot on the floor or something. His foot just looked like it slipped. Our 3rd period brought to you by Luigi's in Newcastle. Looking for real Italian flavor? Try Luigi's in Newcastle. They deliver it. Luigi came to the U.S. from Vasto, Italy, and now his grandkids are serving the same family recipes that have been loved for generations with a modern twist. Fresh dishes, bold flavors, true Italian hospitality. Taste the tradition at Luigi's with locations in Newcastle, Chickasha, and Yukon. As Luigi always said, enter his friends, leave his family.
Antwi Donkar got the offensive rebound and the putback. He's dealing with 3 fouls, so if he's going to be aggressive like that, he's got to be careful, but maybe that will get his confidence going on offense, seeing the ball go in the hole.
Upper left corner of the screen, you'll see the logo for the podcast, Oklahoma High School Girls Between the Lines. They are our title sponsor. Join Coach Vic and Tony Johnson as they deliver thoughtful analysis, in-depth conversations, and meaningful coverage of programs across the state.
Carl Albert needed to get something going on offense, and they did thanks to a 2-man game between Jordan Hawkins and LeBron Royal. 2 guys playing their last game as a Titan for basketball anyway. And Jordan Hawkins will be playing some big baseball games for him in the spring.
Royal hits the bucket. He's at the line shooting the Toonie Buys Houses free throw.
And he's got 3 fouls, but he's staying in.
And a 6-point lead now for Carl Albert on the old-fashioned 3-point play. Call Toonie Buys Houses at 405-931-3046 if you need to sell a home for any reason. Brammer, the leading scorer for Newcastle, gives it to Williams. He lays it over the front of the rim. That's what Newcastle needs.
2 baskets right at the paint. They need to keep trying to do that. They don't settle for jumpers for Newcastle unless they're wide open.
Williams went determinedly and high to get to the basket on that one. Matthews posting up on the low post. He catches the rebound. He's lying on the floor and catches the rebound.
Well, you got to get that for Newcastle. Elijah Matthews rebounded. He was sitting down.
Coach Price, I believe, called the timeout. And it is a 30-second timeout with 6 minutes and 12 seconds left to play in the Luigi's 3rd period. He called that timeout when Matthews cut the ball on the floor. Is that what he did?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a good set for Carl Albert. Elijah has a smaller guy on him in Folsom. Posted him up. but Folsom may have been beginning to pull a chair on him, so Matthews was off balance when he shot it and fell down, and fortunate for Carl Albert, it went right to him.
You don't see something like that very often where Matthews fell on the floor after the shot and the ball came down between like 3 or 4 players right into his hands. Gordy, anything from Coach Price during that timeout?
Really just wanted them to focus. That was the main point, the focal point actually of that conversation was just the focus on the offensive end. Just really wanted to make sure that they kind of execute going down this stretch.
Matthews takes the inbound pass. Austin Johnson in the corner with it, back to Matthews. Pulls up, elbow J, it's no good, and a quick foul called on Newcastle. That's the 3rd foul on the Racers already, unless they had updated that already.
Folsom usually contests shots better than that. You know, he's used to players shooting over him, but that's a bad foul. Now they fouled Jordan Hawkins on a jump shot, which is just a no-no in basketball. Hawkins didn't make the free throws, and Matthews misses the first.
That is only the 2nd foul on Newcastle. They actually updated the team foul count before the official
They're so quick
around
to
give them the.
They'll get the score wrong, but they will update fouls like that.
Matthews misses the first of the Toonie Bites House's free throws. Misses the second as well.
Ball hits the ground. Boy, Newcastle almost gave him a bad rebound there.
On tweet on court, Brammer for a deep 3. Boom! It's the HMS Cooley Heating and Plumbing 3-point shot.
Be very worried about Colton Brammer if you're Carl Albert.
It's a 1-point game. Don't stress, call HMS 405-392-5413.
First 3 for Newcastle.
Hawkins and Matthews playing catch on the left wing. Matthews looking inside, had Royal down low. The defense closed on him, no pass. Hawkins back into Royal now. Carl Albert taking their time offensively, keeping the ball movement, and
kick ball on TJ Williams.
Williams got a foot out to hit the pass. Rogers will inbound in front of the Carl Albert bench.
I would say that Newcastle crowd sounding a little louder from away on the other side from us than the Carl Albert crowd early this afternoon in the girls' game. I don't know if
the Newcastle crowd
may agree or disagree with that.
Yeah, the Newcastle crowd was more noisy during the earlier game. They're more noisy now.
Yeah, definitely. I think the police had to go over to the student section to get them to calm down a little bit. They're kind of pushing the gate down there. It's getting a little wild down there at Newcastle Racers. Starting to catch that momentum, and you can definitely feel it down here for sure, fellas.
Rogers step back jumper, and it's good.
There they go.
He's gotten really good at that pull-up jumper. That saved him against Booker T. Timely shot there.
Brammer gives to Doncourt. He thought about the 3, thought about it again, and then drives in. And a foul on that. Royal will be his 4th.
I don't agree with that. And look, I'm supporting both teams here, so.
You say you don't agree with it?
I don't agree with that foul.
I thought it was going to be a travel call on Doncourt's what I thought they were going to call.
But he's their best interior player, LeBron Royal. They need him for his toughness, his rebounding.
Notice the official that made the call was behind Royal and couldn't really see the contact, but Doncourt actually had his elbows up in Royal's face. Wright gives the ball back to Brammer off the inbound play. It's a 3-point game, 25-22. Brammer driving on Hawkins. It's number 3 on number 3. Brammer in the paint, puts it up, good for 2. It's a 1-point game again. Beautiful shot by Brammer.
Just very under control. He knew he wasn't going to blow by Jordan Hawkins, so it was just about getting from one spot to the other until you got to a spot on the floor that you're comfortable turning around and shooting a hook shot.
Darian Thomas back out to Rogers. Inside, Johnson. A lot of contact, and
foul on Williams or out of bounds?
No, they just called it out of bounds. I'm surprised that wasn't a foul call.
Well, we've seen TJ Williams hit the floor a lot.
Darian Thomas trying to dribble down the baseline. There was significant contact there. I guess Williams poked the ball out before the contact was made.
So with Royal out, Carl Albert, Coach Price will not go with a bigger lineup with a true post player like Jax Wilkerson. So that affords Newcastle a chance to go with a smaller lineup as well. So both teams taking out a post player. Owen Wright for Newcastle now out, replaced by Folsom, who actually took a brief breather.
Alan Price in there with Brammer, Folsom, Antwi Duncore, and Williams. Of course, we've seen Alan Price start some games here in the playoffs as well.
Yes, like we talked about before, that fifth starter for Newcastle, it could be 2 or 3 different players.
Rogers taking his time. He's out top, directing traffic, and 1-point lead for Carl Albert. Gives the ball back to Matthews. Both of these teams have the luxury of having multiple ball handlers. Hawkins driving off the glass, foul called. They're going to be on Williams. And it is on Williams.
Williams was such a great rim protector last night against Midwest City.
Williams and Doncore each with 3 fouls now.
He's got to stay in the game, or he may not stay in the game, we'll see, but he's got to be involved. And with his size.
Coach Jesse Brown trying to talk to the official. He was a little too close to center court. The official says, get back over in your box, Coach, if you want to talk to me. And he jumped back, animatedly jumped back into the coach's box.
This is incredible, Gordy. Jordan Hawkins and Elijah Matthews.
Right.
0 for their last 5 free throws combined.
Just cold right now, Jordan.
This is just a weird game. Definitely different than last week's game, right, Tracy?
Right.
Hawkins looked like that one was going to come out, but it goes in. 2-point lead for Carl Albert.
They have not posted up T.J. Williams much, but him and Dwankor both have matchups where I think they can score inside.
Williams,
again, just hard time catching it.
Yeah, trouble hanging on the ball. Goes into the paint and just shoots an air ball after contact with Johnson.
I've seen him make that shot a few times. But he didn't go up smoothly, and that disrupted his rhythm.
I feel like I'm saying some negative things about the Newcastle team, but what I'm telling you is that a couple of these guys are not playing up to their potential right now. Williams is struggling with some things, hanging on the ball, just short-armed that last shot.
And Carl's not taking advantage yet either.
They're not.
So we can criticize both teams for their offense for sure.
Johnson going around Price, swing and play late travel. Again, ugly offensive play, right?
Yeah, and then you got to see when you're going to go hard to the basket, the paint players converge on you. You're going to have to take more steps is what's going to have to happen, and you're going to have to pick up the ball because you have no room to dribble. So it's just not going to attack there.
Williams
count.
Is that and one? Oh no, on the floor. On the floor.
He was pointing on the floor. Man, that's a break.
Break for Carl Albert. A foul on Austin Johnson, his second personal. It is the third team foul on Carl Albert. Newcastle also has 3 team fouls, and it's a baseline inbound play for Newcastle.
Carl Albert going to bring in Gibson Johnson. Maybe he can hit a couple threes for him.
Antwi Duncore. Defended by Darian Thomas. Duncore with a height advantage, but Thomas can leap, and he's got some size. Folsom driving in, lays it up, foul called.
That will be in the act of shooting, no doubt about that one.
And that foul is going on Darian Thomas. Now, if Folsom can get that drive going like that without drawing an offensive foul, that can make a big difference for Newcastle. Folsom with a chance to tie the game up here, shooting the HMS free throws. 1-point game. Second shot coming.
One of the questions we got, who's going to be the next player in foul trouble? LeBron Royal with 4. Will one of the key Newcastle players join him?
Folsom hits both free throws. It's tied up 26-all. Full court pressure by Newcastle. Carl Albert with the ball still in the backcourt. Williams steps into the passing lane, steals the ball away. Folsom for 3. No good. And Duncore tips it in. It's a lead for Newcastle, 28-26.
They didn't lead since about midway first quarter.
I'm not sure they ever led. According to the stat sheet, they never led the game.
They had a 1-point lead a couple times, I think.
I thought so as well. Hawkins misses. Price with the rebound. He's slinging elbows to clear it out. And Folsom walking the ball up the court. Minute 19 left to play here in this Luigi's third period.
Well, Newcastle has scored points in the paint. That's very important for them, and they have gotten points in the paint. A lot of it off offensive rebound. And a foul on Austin Johnson. They are going inside of T.J. Williams.
That's the 5th foul on Carl Albert.
They are playing, Newcastle's playing with a lot more purpose on offense. They know who they are right now. That's not how they played in the first half.
Turned up the intensity defensively and playing with purpose offensively. Gordy, observations from you over there.
Just like you just said, Tracy, they have kind of turned up the intensity on the offensive end for sure, but both on defensive end and offensive end, you can see the New Racers kind of getting more confident as they go on, especially since they've had that lead. You can see the confidence has grown tremendously in this third quarter.
Williams hits the first, misses the second. HMS free throw. Austin Johnson with the rebound. Quickly into the press. Austin Johnson in the front court now. And
wow, what a fall there by Folsom.
Folsom landed on the back of Austin Johnson, and there was no foul call. The Carl Albert fans questioning that, but the ball had already been tipped out of bounds, I think.
I thought it may have been Thomas there. He did that on Jordan. Jordan Hawkins, by the way, is hurt.
It looks like Jordan Hawkins.
But he didn't have the ball, so we got some Carl Albert fans wanting a foul, and that's just not really a foul there. He didn't really, I don't know. It's an unconventional play. I don't know why he was jumping there.
Austin Johnson inbound. Hawkins goes to the bench.
5 seconds?
5-second call on the inbound play.
Yeah. Just one more thought on that no call. Folsom really hurt himself. He didn't do anything to impede anything Thomas was doing, so Thomas did not have the ball, so that's why no foul was called.
Brammer walking the ball up the court very slowly. Crosses the timeline. Folsom comes out, takes the ball from him, 45 seconds to play. 3-point lead for Newcastle. Rogers staying with Brammer in the paint. Brammer driving in, ball knocked out.
Got 2 shots. Yep.
2 shots coming from Colton Brammer. And that foul is going on for maybe
Rogers, I think.
He's on Rogers, his 3rd personal.
Brammer has been very steady here.
Foul stacking up on Carl Albert in this 3rd period. Colton Brammer free throw is good. HMS cooling, heating, and plumbing free throws. Second shot's good as well, and the lead is 5 for Newcastle.
Boy, they've outscored Carl Albert by 10. They've completely flipped the script.
Johnson in the front court with the ball, gets into a trap, gives it back to Rogers. Rogers about to fall into the backcourt, gives it to Thomas. He loses the ball. Rogers for 3. Boom! It's a Bobby Lewis injured 3. It's a 2-point ball game.
You can count on Darian Thomas to make a big play on offense for Carl Albert. He got inside there and found a wide open Rogers.
Williams.
What's the call? A charge.
Williams throws a shoulder into Austin Johnson to back him off and gets called for the offensive foul. That's his 4th personal foul on T.J. Williams. He has 4. Doncourt has 3. Brennan Rogers and Austin Johnson both playing with 3 for Carl Albert. Owen Wright will check in as Williams takes a seat. Williams has been a key to the defense and the offense here in the last couple of minutes for Newcastle, and he's on the bench now. Thomas
walked.
Travel for Thomas. 2 seconds left. Newcastle gets the ball back.
We'll see what happens here, but I assume Newcastle will not have Williams to start the 4th quarter, so I think Brammer or Dwonkar has got to take over.
Brammer will inbound the ball side out. 2 seconds. Folsom runs into Rogers, fires one up the buzzer off the front of the rim. It would have been good had it gone in, but it was not good. 31-29 after 3 periods of play on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At CFD, our mission is to deliver quality dentistry by providing big practice benefits with a little practice feel. Since 2008, we've updated our look, technology, and have added new smiles to our tenured staff to better care for you right here at home. Convenience for you is one of our biggest goals, and we often provide same-day treatment to minimize your time off work. We are open Monday through Friday to serve you. Visit cfdok.com for details. We look forward to seeing you at our big little practice.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray, Gordy Jones, OG&E Coliseum State Fairgrounds, 5A boys state championship game, back and forth. Newcastle leading by 2, 31-29. Gordy, anything from the break?
Yes, Coach Jesse Brown really wanted the team to focus on just maintaining. He told them, just trust in me, just trust in me. We're going to get you to the right place. He really just sure that they came and kept the same focus that they've kind of done this entire third quarter. Like he said, just kind of stick to the plan, stay disciplined, stay on the offensive end, and like he said, just believe in themselves and believe in what his word is, and he's going to put them in the proper position to win this ball game.
Newcastle with the ball to begin the First United Bank fourth period. First United Bank with over 80 locations across Oklahoma and Texas. A family bank in every sense of the word. Family owned and built on family values, treating you like family. Spend life wisely. Member FDIC, First United Bank. Newcastle with the ball. Doncor on the left wing. Passes back out to Brammer. Brammer thought about the deep three. Drives in instead. Puts up the shot. No good. Rogers gets up in the air to pull down the rebound.
Brammer had it there, but it was a contested shot. Carl Albert defended the paint pretty well.
Williams on the bench with 4 fouls for Newcastle. Johnson picks up his dribble out top and has to give the ball back to Rogers.
Got Matthews back in, guarded by Folsom. He's the 2 number 1s. He should go at Folsom if he has a chance.
Johnson driving on 2 defenders and a foul called. Should be 2 Neubaushausen's free throws coming for Austin Johnson. He can tie the game up with 7 minutes left to play. Johnson's first free throw is up, and it's good.
Important thing there is it was not, for Newcastle, was not a foul on Dwankar.
Johnson 1 point away from tying it up here at the free throw line with the 2 Neubaushausen's free throws and misses.
They should call him onto Dwankar.
Folsom bringing the ball up the court with a 1 point lead. Matthews meets him at half court. Good movement away from the ball. Gibson Johnson with a steal. And Joey Folsom with a quick foul as he just cuts in front of Gibson Johnson.
Well, they needed someone for Carl Albert to really get them going. They're making that type of play. They've kind of let Newcastle pass the ball around too easily in that third quarter.
Barely a minute into the fourth period, and there's 2 fouls on Newcastle already, none on Carl Albert. Rogers takes the inbound pass. Elijah Matthews goes right, gives it to Gibson Johnson over on the right wing. Alan Price on D. Darian Thomas looking inside. Rogers runs the baseline, comes back as Johnson goes to the right wing. Now slowing it down offensively is Carl Albert. That's not worked for him in the third. And Rogers dribbles it off his leg out of bounds.
Job by Owen to stay with the quicker Rogers. Which team will bring in their 4-foul post player first? It'll be Newcastle.
Here comes
Just
TJ
as I asked
Williams.
that.
Yes. Yeah, we mentioned Williams is on the bench with 4. LeBron Royals also on the bench with 4 fouls for Carl Albert. Don Core trying to do a little sweep with the ball there. Folsom back to Brammer. Brammer looking inside. Don Core posting up on Darian Thomas. Brammer for 3. Boom! It's the HMS Cooling, Heating, and Air Plumbing for a 3-pointer.
Oh, so pure. That was that looked good from the moment he flicked his wrist there.
Brammer has been huge for this team today. Thomas out top of the ball. Johnson at the free throw line. Folsom reaching in, swipes the ball away. Gibson Johnson comes back up with it. Thomas goes up over Folsom, scores the bucket. It's a 2-point game.
Thomas really strong, bigger body than Folsom, and he showed it right there. And that's one of the advantages Carl Albert has. They got strong guards, football players.
Brammer defended by Rogers, takes the baseline. Doncor in the corner. On to Doncor, defended by Darian Thomas. Folsom hanging out in the left corner Antwi Encore in the right corner. Brammer driving, goes up, 6-foot jumper, it's good. He elevates well, doesn't he?
He has been magnificent getting to his spots. He missed a layup early this quarter, but he's hit 2 big jumpers, 1 from 3, and then that pull-up.
LeBron Royal sitting over the score table to check in as well with TJ Williams. 4.5 minutes to play in the ball game. Austin Johnson, right wing, defended by Owen Wright.
It's funny to see them sit right by each other.
Johnson goes in and a foul called on Wright as Johnson was trying to move back under the basket for the shot. I thought Wright had good position.
I did too.
Johnson jumped into him.
But Johnson's been the one Carl Albert player that's been effective at driving to the basket, and he's been drawing fouls repeatedly. And that's been big for Carl Albert.
Austin Johnson with the Toonie Buys Houses free throws. First shot's up, but it's good. We've had a few state championships announced already in Class 6A as the Norman Tigers winning the boys state championship, the Putnam City North Lady Panthers winning the girls championship. In 4A's, Lincoln Christian Lady Bulldogs. And on the boys bracket, Acacia Hall Commandos winning the 4A state championship. 2A girls was the Howell Lions. 3A girls, the Washington Warriors. 5A girls, the Carl Albert Titans. 3A boys was Millwood. Got the 5A boys game going now. 2A boys game coming next.
Good
Don
steal.
Cole inside. Spins out, kicks it out. Folsom for 3. Back iron, no good. Jackson Webster with the rebound.
It has been a while since Carl Albert's gotten fouled and hit 2 free throws.
Rogers out top, defended by Don Core. Royal alone in the corner.
They can leave him open from out there.
Austin Johnson on the right wing with the ball now, looking back across to Rogers.
Rogers had it. He had a 3 if he wanted it.
Had the shorter Allen Price closing on him, and Coach Jay Price will call a timeout for Carl Albert. 3:38 left to play in the ball game. It's a 3-point lead for Newcastle. Plenty of time for either team to do what they need to do to secure a state championship here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At Tommy's Express Car Wash, we know how to love your ride. Try the Works Wash with our signature 14-step cleaning process, engineered to shine and shield your car from the elements. From breaking down dirt and bugs with our Detox Pre-Wash to restoring your vehicle's finish with our ceramic body wax. Give your car the best with our Top Wash. Then complete the clean with free vacuums and mat washers. Download our app and get your first 30 days of the Works for free. Tommy's Express. Love your ride.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray, Gordy Jones. Gordy, you were behind the Carl Albert bench during that timeout. What'd you hear?
Yes, sir. Coach Price really wanted to emphasize pass cut. Pass cut. He said it about 3 or 4 times. He wanted to make sure that Carl Albert is utilizing these cuts on the offense, trying to see if they can kind of sneak behind the backs of the defense like normal. What he wanted to see if they can use these screens and utilize this motion to try to see if they can kind of get Newcastle over pursuing just a little bit. So like I say, pass cut, make sure they're making the right reads, making sure they make smart decisions on these passes.
Carl Albert with the ball coming out of the timeout. 3.5 minutes to play in the First United Bank fourth period.
Newcastle going man.
Gibson Johnson for 3. Boom! He hits it. It's a tie ball game, 36-all. It's the Bobby Lewis Insurance 3.
Not bad for a freshman. Got a sloppy game to a close game. It's been a really good second half. And we got a foul away from the ball.
Gibson Johnson called for that foul, I believe.
It's one of his first or second on Carl Albert this quarter. Newcastle already with 3, as people can see on our screen.
Folsom takes the inbound pass, gives it back to Brammer. Brammer has been a weapon offensively for Newcastle in this second half. He drives in, a shove off on Rogers, and there's the offensive foul.
Rogers got off balance there. I don't even think he was trying to sell it.
Well, he extended the arm, though, as Rogers was going away. And so from the official standpoint, it looked like it from here. Even though he may have been off balance, it was a little bit of a shove. Matthews to Royal. Royal on the right wing. Back to Austin Johnson. Around Doncourt. Johnson pulls out. Tied up, 36 all, 2.5 minutes to play. And Rogers is holding the ball. Coach Price says, let's go, guys. Rogers defended by Brammer. Driving in. Backs up. Brammer staying with him. Carefully doesn't get a 5-second call there. He held the ball a long time before he dribbled. Back to Royal. Matthews out top.
You might want Matthews to create. He's got his size advantage on Folsom, and he's tried to take advantage of that before.
Rogers out top of the ball again to Johnson, and a lot of time coming off the clock. We're under the 2-minute mark now. Doncourt staying on Johnson, Austin Johnson that is. Newcastle fans cheering this defensive effort right now. Carl Albert's not turned the ball over, but Newcastle's not giving them anything either. Williams staying on Royal. Those two players with 4 fouls each. Royal setting a screen, backs off. Brammer on Rogers. Rogers goes around the screen set by Johnson, and
foul?
Boy,
yeah, foul.
Is that on Williams?
No.
Oh, it was on Colter Brammer. Okay.
But
well, I think Williams thought it was called on him too. He had an astonished look on his face.
Well, it's not a good foul either way. It's the worst if it's on Williams, of course.
That is the 5th foul on Newcastle, and Brandon Rogers is at the line shooting the Toonie Vice Houses free throws. A lead for Carl Albert. I don't understand the foul call. Of course, I couldn't see that corner well from here, but didn't look like much.
You see Jackson Webster coming for defense.
Rogers hits the first. Second shot is up. He hits it as well. Of course, he's been big at the line late in games all through the state tournament.
And it's the first time a Titan player in a while has hit 2 free throws on a trip.
2-point lead for Carl Albert. Brammer on the left wing looking inside, kicks it back out to Price. Folsom, right wing inside to Williams. Backing down Austin Johnson. Goes up, and a foul called on Johnson. He lowered his hand for just a moment.
And he'll have 4 fouls. So there'll be shots for TJ Williams. It was a foul in the act of shooting, even though the Titans have 2 fouls, which is something they may use to their advantage in this final minute 9. The fact that they got 2 fouls to give.
TJ Williams can tie it up at the line again with the HMS Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing free throws. Hits the first. Nice looking shot. 1:09 to play. First United Bank 4th period. 5A state championship on the line here. These two schools have matched up once today. It was Carl Albert Lady Titans coming out on top. Who will come out on top in this matchup?
Well, Coach Brown has 4 timeouts for Newcastle. Will he use any here?
Williams hits both free throws, ties it up at 38.
Yes. I think they want to call a timeout because I don't think they want to just make it easy for Carl Albert to run clock all the way down. And they can't foul, though, either.
Timeout, full timeout called on the floor here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Like there was a time when you'd have to put a hole there and 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 there. But this is just the same basic hole, and then you pick the direction you want to go.
Just having a 3-mile lateral, I think you're eliminating something like 60 wells that you'd have to put in.
That's a great leap forward.
You're able to tap the reservoir, and you have less of a footprint.
It never fails to blow me away.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray, Gordy Jones, back at OG&E Coliseum, where we have a ball game, folks. And Gordy, during the timeout, you were behind the Carl Albert bench. What'd you hear over there?
Coach Price was really just trying to draw up the proper play on this next possession. He's trying to remind the team that they only have 2 timeouts left and wanted to make sure that they use them at the right opportune time. But drew up a play on this particular play right here that you're seeing to make sure that these guys execute and are able to make it through this press.
Full court pressure by Newcastle coming out of the timeout. Carl Albert gets the ball into the front court. Matthews driving, pulls up, gives the ball back to Austin Johnson. Under a minute to play. Tied up 38 all in the First United Bank fourth period.
And Newcastle's got to force a 5 count or make Carl Albert at least not just dribble it around.
And a timeout called by Coach Jay Price with 38 seconds left. It is another full timeout. Shall we stay here and talk about this, Jordan? Take a break.
Let's take a break.
All right, 38 seconds left, tied up here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray, Gordy Jones. Gordy, what do you hear from Coach Brown and the Newcastle Racers?
Coach Brown was really wanting to focus on just taking care of the ball on this one, Tracy. He said, don't try to force anything. Like I said, there's no reason to go ahead and force, but like you said, once they get possession, to try to make sure and utilize the time wisely and take the best shot possible. Like you said, do not try to force anything. Make the wise decision.
So more focused on what happens after they get the ball than the fact that they're on defense here coming out of the timeout. Carl Albert with the ball. Alan Price on Brandon Rogers. 38 seconds left to play in this 5A state championship game. All tied up.
In a driving lane, but he wants to wait.
Matthews now defended by Joey Folsom. Johnson in the corner, down to 20 seconds. Johnson backs out. Carl Albert content, it looks like, to go for the last shot or the overtime. Rogers backs up, 9 seconds. Gives the ball back to Johnson. Johnson called for the travel with 4 seconds left in the ball game.
Newcastle probably is going to call a timeout here. If they do, we'll keep it here.
And that is the timeout by Coach Jesse Brown. It could have been a 5th foul on T.J. Williams, but it was rightly called a travel on Austin Johnson as he got turned around backwards.
And he's committed 2 or 3 travels. You know, when Austin Johnson attacks the basket, he doesn't try to out-quick you. So sometimes he can be effective at that and draw a foul, but other times you saw what you saw there where he just really had no space to go with it. And, again, that makes him have to pick up his dribble. And, you know, we saw what happened. He moved his feet too much, according to the referees anyway. If you're Newcastle, you really want to win this in regulation here. Just like Carl Albert did, go in the same basket. Carl Albert girls, go in the same basket.
4.2 seconds left. Newcastle has the ball. Not a lot of time. Full court to go. In the girls' game, the Newcastle defense allowed Carl Albert to roll the ball to midcourt. I don't expect Coach Jay Price and the Carl Albert boys to allow Newcastle to do that, but hey, we'll see what happens. Coming out of the timeout, anything for us from the benches, Gordy?
Didn't get anything, Jordan. I was kind of watching Coach Price. He was having a conversation with the referee mainly to discuss as far as that last travel call. Just really was not very happy, of course, but really beside himself. Just really didn't explain or understand why the referee called that travel.
Folsom to inbound the ball, and we got another timeout called?
Yeah, I think Newcastle called it. Now, Carl Albert, I was wondering if they were going to, because they have 1 timeout left. And if Newcastle scores, that will run out the clock, even if it's not technically a buzzer beater. Similar to what happened with Jakari Brown's shot in that first game. She had a shot with 2 seconds left, but Newcastle had no timeouts. They really didn't have time to do anything. That's maybe why Coach Price, I believe, will hold on to his. And Jesse Brown of Newcastle may have called that timeout. I don't know if he knew where the ball was going to be thrown in. He may have been surprised because when you saw where that travel took place, I thought, Tracy, that Newcastle was going to inbound it near the Carl Albert sideline. But instead, it's going to be the baseline, so they got a little bit farther to go.
Both coaches planning. And it'll be Newcastle ball, backcourt baseline. They've got the full court to go with 4.2 seconds. Austin Johnson in front of Folsom. Carl Albert defending the inbound pass. Doncourt gets it. Matthews on D. Matthews
good foul.
fouls Doncourt at the free throw, at the half-court line.
Yeah, I told you this when we weren't recording or on streaming, Tracy, but I really wish Porter Mosser did that against Missouri in January. That's how you foul, on purpose like that. When you have a foul to give and there was no chance that there's going to be a continuation call. Now, Newcastle still has a timeout, so I'm surprised they wouldn't diagram something here.
1.5 seconds left. Newcastle inbound play. A tip to Williams. Tries to put the shot up. And does time run out? There's 0.4 on the clock. What's the call? Is it an out-of-bound play? Was there a foul? No foul call.
Whose ball is it, though?
Haven't seen a call.
If it's Newcastle's ball, it is. Boy, I would call another timeout here. They have enough time for a catch and shoot. They're going to throw it in under their baseline. So don't just assume overtime yet.
And I think Coach Price called the timeout. It is a full timeout called by Coach Price with 0.4 seconds left. A baseline inbound play coming for Newcastle. They do have the players to do a tip-in.
They got 2 of them. And if they bring in Owen Wright, which I didn't see them do, so I don't think they will, but they would have had 3. They don't necessarily need to do that.
And Carl Albert's got to defend this as Jax Wilkerson's checking into the game. Carl Albert has to defend it without committing a foul. No, they still have a foul to give, don't they?
Yeah, but in this case, if you foul,
it's probably going to be a shooting foul.
Right.
You don't want to put somebody at the line. Owen Wright's checking into the game.
See Owen Wright. Who else you saw come in? Jax Wilkerson. I think Jax will probably be assigned to guard the inbounder and just take up all the space and make it hard for the inbounder to see anything. And you might want a tall inbounder, so you may want Owen Wright to throw it in if you're Newcastle.
So here come the Newcastle Racers back out on the court. Carl Albert Titans headed out on the court. And I think you're right. I see Wilkerson going down. Now, Wilkerson's going to plant right underneath the basket.
Guard the basket. Austin Johnson will guard the inbounder, who is Brammer. The guy you kind of want shooting.
Doncourt battling with Wilkerson under the basket now. There's the inbound play. Doncourt catches it, puts up a good shot.
Would have counted.
No bucket, and we're going to bonus basketball overtime. Carl Albert Titans versus the Newcastle Racers here at OG&E Coliseum on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Isn't just where you live, it's where you thrive. Elevate it with a roof that reflects your standards. At Cantrell Roofing, we deliver efficiency and high-quality installations. Our A-plus BBB certified team performs the highest level of craftsmanship, and our in-house insurance adjuster handles claims fast and stress-free. Backed by 30 years of experience, our 5-star Google rating reflects the trust we've earned. The better your roof is built, the better it holds up in the Oklahoma weather. Remember, got hail? Call Cantrell.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray, Gordy Jones back at OG&E Coliseum, 5A Boys State Championship. Gordy, we're starting the overtime period. What did you hear from the coaches?
Coach Jesse Brown, he just adamant at that moment. Really love seeing that one. He said, you guys know what to do, just do it. And he just kind of kept it plain and simple, and it just left as simple as that. He drew up a play, looked at his players in the eyes, and he said, you guys know exactly what to do. Go out there and do it.
Our fourth period brought to you by HMS Cooling. Our overtime, brought to you by HMS Cooling, Heating and Plumbing. Don't stress, call HMS 405-392-5413. We got a tip-off to start overtime. Dell City Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely.
Giving us the tip-off to start the overtime. Dell City Chamber of Commerce is your trusted resource for advocacy, education, and engagement to help you improve your business. Newcastle with the opening tip as TJ Williams skies up and gives it to Brammer.
Now the Racers, do they try to stall or at least pass the ball around, slow it down? Looks like they are at the moment.
Rogers coming out to guard Brammer. Brammer goes left off the screen. Rogers staying with him. Brammer in the paint. Shot's good. 2-point lead for the Racers.
He's hit some big-time shots. HMS is our instant replay sponsor, Tracy, since we can't do that for Newcastle these tournament games. That's why they're our overtime sponsor.
Rogers on the left, defended by Doncourt. Doncourt with 3 fouls, 4 for TJ Williams, 4 also for Austin Johnson and LeBron Royal for Carl Albert. Royal out top of the ball. Gives it back to Matthews, defended by Joey Folsom. Matthews just holding here. Johnson sets a screen. And
that's
a quick
going to be
foul
free
call on
throws.
Folsom.
They don't reset things in high school when it comes to team fouls, even though with this new rule change, you think I wouldn't be favored of actually doing that. Maybe 1 or 2 fouls and then you have free throws, but.
Yeah, interesting rule that the bonus foul count continues into the overtime period. Elijah Matthews shooting the Toonie Buys Houses free throws, and he hits the first. Toonie Buys Houses in any condition. If you're someone you know needs to buy a home or sell a home, for any reason, call today for a cash offer, 405-931-3046.
We're going to see an offense for defense sub, or in this case, defense for offense sub for Carl Albert. Taking out Gibson Johnson, bringing in Jackson Webster.
Elijah Matthews hits both of the Toonie Buys Houses free throws. We're tied up 40 all. This is the 5A Boys State Championship game at OG&E Coliseum. Beautiful new facility. Brammer with the ball out top for Newcastle. Folsom holding the ball, backs up toward midcourt. Rogers on D. Doncourt thought about a 3. He's directing traffic. Inside to Williams. Johnson on D. Kicks it to Price for 3. Back iron. Jackson Webster with the rebound.
If I was Williams, he found the open man. I would look to shoot it next time.
Remember that Carl Albert still has a foul to give here in overtime.
But Austin Johnson doesn't, and that's who's guarding Williams.
Rogers out top, Doncourt on D. Rogers goes left, passes off to Royal. Royal spent a lot of time out top in this game with the ball in his hands.
They leave him open. That's probably why. He doesn't have to deal with a 5-count type of defense.
Well, and also because they're leaving him open, it gives them someone to freely pass to when they're in danger of a 5-count. Rogers goes right. Hands the ball back to Royal. 1:44 to play.
Royal could just keep dribbling right now. He's no risk of a 5-count because Williams is giving him plenty of space. He's going to dare Williams to get up on him. Williams will now get up on him.
The Newcastle fans booing, not liking the decision by Newcastle to back off. Rogers passes back to Royal. Royal around. Webster back out to Rogers. 1:18 now. Carl Albert very confident in playing this stall game right now. Mind you, we have no shot clock in high school basketball this year. Royal driving in and scoring the layup. Carl Albert's on top, 42-40.
One of his first baskets, they gave him an open driving lane. He took it.
Brammer loses the ball, and a foul is called on Carl Albert.
But they still had one to give. That's not in the act of shooting.
The foul's called on Jackson Webster. That's his first personal, 4th team foul.
Both teams get a timeout in overtime. That's one thing that changes. So now Carl Albert has 1, and people can see this, but just to remind them, and Newcastle has 2.
Darian Thomas checks into the game, and Elijah Matthews takes a seat. Royal face guarding Ivan Antwi Doncourt. Brammer to inbound. Austin Johnson face guarding TJ Williams. Williams set in a place where it might be easy for him to do a catch and shoot.
Now that's going to be free throws. That may be on Johnson too, Austin Johnson. They're going to say he was holding.
It is a foul on Austin Johnson. He fouls out of the ball game. I couldn't see the play from here. Looked like the defender was running away from him. Did he have a hold of him?
Williams did stumble. Doesn't mean that should have been called. I don't know.
Johnson takes a seat. Gibson Johnson checks in.
And so is Elijah Matthews, so I didn't notice he was even out.
But yeah, Elijah Matthews comes back in, and Jackson Webster takes a seat. Matthews went out when Darian Thomas came into the game to start that possession. Defensive switch. TJ Williams hits the HMS free throw. 56 seconds left. It's a 1-point lead for Carl Albert. TJ Williams can tie it up at the line. Williams has 8 points, misses the free throw, and Darian Thomas gets the rebound. Under a minute to play. Carl Albert can try to run the clock out here if Newcastle fouls. Thomas has the ball tipped away. It'll be an inbound baseline play coming for Carl Albert. Well, it looked like Thomas had a lane to the basket.
Newcastle needs to deny the ball here on this baseline inbounds play. Carl Albert will not look to score, you wouldn't think. But TJ Williams cannot foul, and you really don't want Longcar to foul either, even though he's had 3 for a while.
Gibson Johnson gives it to Rogers off the inbound play. Rogers comes out. Darian Thomas takes the ball under the basket, kicks it back out. Back to Thomas. They're leaving him open in the corner. Matthews. Back to Royal.
It's a good play to foul.
Playing keep away and a quick foul. Is that on Royal? I mean, was
Folsom.
Royal the one who was fouled?
Definitely the one that was fouled.
Yeah. I couldn't see through the fans standing in front of us here. LeBron Royal going to the line to shoot the Toonie Bice Houses free throws. It's a 1-point lead for Carl Albert right now with 29 seconds to play. Where will Royal leave this from the line?
Playing his final seconds perhaps for the Carl Albert Titans.
He missed the first free throw. That's a big free throw to make it a 2-point game. Matthews giving him a pat, encouraging him. Gibson Johnson takes a seat as Jackson Webster checks back in. Got that defensive set out there with Jackson Webster. Royal's second free throw is up. No good. It's a 2-point game. 25 seconds left in overtime. Brammer with the ball, crosses half court. Webster on D. Folsom inside. Williams kicks it back to Brammer for 3. Boom! It's HMS three-pointer for Newcastle. 1-point lead. Rogers with the ball. Under 10 seconds to play. Rogers driving in, pulls up. 3 for Rogers. Shot no good. Royal with the rebound. Shot no good. Ball.
Oh, it's over.
Time
they
is
did.
over.
Newcastle wow.
Gets the win in overtime.
Congratulations to them, their first ever state title in basketball. And as we were talking about, Tracy, they hadn't won much state titles to begin with, even though they've had some good athletic teams lately. And they may get the ball rolling here because they have a lot of good athletic teams, like I said, and what a big moment for the Racers.
A lot of seniors in the starting lineup. They get their state championship to close out their high school career.
They will probably, as of right now, we're not going to be a contender for next year. So Carl Albert, even though they lose 3 starters, I love their chances to compete for a state title next year. Not that I don't feel bad for the seniors they lose. Well, that's a tough loss for them.
Let's say this about Newcastle. While we say they may not be a contender next year because they lose a lot, when you win a state championship that catches people's attention, they're a destination place to live right now. They could reload for next year.
Absolutely. We're going to try to adjust some camera shots for you.
The Newcastle Racers get the overtime win over the Carl Albert Titans. Here today, they won in the area. They won again here in the state championship. Seniors on the Newcastle Racers team: Colton Brammer, Ivan Antweed Encore, TJ Williams, Alan Price, John Trey Sloan, Kel Brickman, Camden Colbert, all seniors on that team that get their state championship before they graduate from Newcastle High School. Congratulations to Coach Jesse Brown and assistant coaches Rod Kindred, Ethan Connor, and Quentin Blue.
Well, first off, again, the Carl Albert seniors, I mean, you know, LeBron Royal has a state titles in football, but it still stinks because he loved basketball and he was a heck of a player. Brandon Rogers, what he did against Booker T, I will never forget. His first moment we called together, I think, as an impact player was when they beat 2 years ago the Christian school, whose name I temporarily forgot, Crossings
Christian.
And, you know, just had an outstanding career for Carl Albert.
Gordy, what you got going on down on the court?
I'm actually headed up to you guys right now. Unbelievable finish. We knew that Colton Brammer could shoot it. I mean, just a perfect opportunity for that young man. Just enough time on the clock for them to finish it out. Tough, just gritty, tough game by both teams. You know, just that last few moments just was so intense. Feel so bad for the Carl Albert Titans. Like I said, they were able to gut it out, but congratulations to the Newcastle Racers on winning their first championship.
Well, and you mentioned Colton Brammer icing his veins on that three. He shot well second half. The offense came from Colton Brammer in that second half, and because of that, and just playing solid all game long, our HMS Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing player of the game is Colton Brammer, senior, 6'2" guard, a senior on the Newcastle Racers. HMS Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, serving residential homes, commercial business in Newcastle, the entire metro area for 40 years. Call them at 405-392-5413, sponsoring our player of the game.
Oh, Colton Brammer was awesome. We're going to try to get an interview with him live during this stream, and hopefully we'll get a recorded interview with him to put on social media. And one more senior to mention for Carl Albert, especially Jordan Hawkins. I look forward to watching him in baseball, but his 2 years with Carl Albert in basketball were tremendous. And how about Newcastle? You had these move-ins, most of them seniors, didn't play their best game, but as long as you have one player rise to the occasion, and Colton Brammer did that. He was outstanding. He was a clear choice for player of the game. And but what a season for T.J. Williams and Dwankar, and they made enough big plays to set themselves up. And Carl Albert, you know, we talk about mistakes, some of the dead ball turnovers and the missed free throws they're gonna think about those. But you know what? I feel like both teams played about an even game.
Yeah, and the fourth period was a much better game as both teams got some things going. Newcastle turned up the energy defensively in the fourth period. That led to more offense for them. If your offense is struggling, we can say it time and time again, put some energy into defense, you'll generate some offense from that. That's what Newcastle did in the second half of this basketball game. T.J. Williams was struggling to hang on the ball. His focus was completely different in the fourth period and overtime as he was hitting some shots and making some steals, including some press break steals, or suppressed steals for the Newcastle Racers. Introducing.
About to call Colton Brammer's name as he's posing for a picture being interviewed.
There's your player of the game, Colton Brammer, getting his state champion medal.
And what 2 games, Tracy, with a game-winning shot late in the clock. Carl Albert had a chance on this time. There was time on the clock, and we saw something like this at the end of the Carl Albert Del City boys game yesterday, but Coach Price selected not to call a timeout. And there's definitely a logic to that, but obviously when it doesn't work out for you, you wonder what could have been if he called a timeout. He had one to use.
No doubt, and so many phenomenal players that showed so much character late in games throughout the playoff, well, throughout their careers, but especially in these playoffs, players that just showed so much character and poise. The poise that was shown late in games by these two teams. Looking at the score sheet, Colton Brammer, 22 of the 44 points, half of the points by Newcastle scored by Colton Brammer in this ball game.
Really good shooting, too.
Yeah, shot the ball. Such a sweet stroke as he elevates and puts that ball in. He's the leading scorer in the ball game. He pulled down 3 rebounds as well. Had, they don't score assists very well here in the state tournament, but 1 assist on the official score sheet here. What a game by Colton Brammer.
And you know what? The teams that won today, Tracy, are the teams that were senior-led that needed to win. Carl Albert girls actually have fewer seniors in their starting lineup than the Carl Albert boys do, but those seniors they rely on more. So, and I'm not saying like this, I still feel for the Carl Albert seniors, don't get me wrong, but if the non-seniors come back, and you can field the lineup, well, let's say Elijah Matthews, Austin Johnson, Gibson Johnson, Darian Thomas, in either Jackson Webster or Jax Wilkerson, you're going to be a serious contender. Newcastle does not have that going for him for next year yet, but of course, we didn't think about him winning this year, or at this time last year, winning this year because of the move-in. So you got to wait and see how that all settles. But And Carl Albert has a lot of these names I mentioned are football players. I hope they all play basketball next year. They're fun players to watch.
Yeah, really only 3 players on the roster of Newcastle that they relied on who were underclassmen. You had Joey Folsom, a junior, Cosili, a sophomore, and Owen Wright, a sophomore. Other than that, it was all seniors that they relied on throughout this season, especially during playoff time. 44-43 in overtime, the victory. The Newcastle Racers get the state championship win over the Carl Albert Titans here at OG&E Coliseum at the State Fairgrounds to win their first ever boys basketball state championship. Matter of fact, I think we were talking earlier, Jordan, is that their first boys state championship in any sport? Is that what we have looked at?
I think we looked it up, and I believe the answer is yes.
They had a football state championship
that's right.
in 1992.
Early 90s.
1992 in Class 3A. This is their second boys state championship all time, Newcastle High School. Congratulations to Coach Jesse Brown. And this is a really talented group of basketball players.
And you know what? I hope the good people in Newcastle who have supported their basketball broadcasts on the Oklahoma Sports Network, just like the good people in Mid-Dell have. It was great we could play both types of advertising and commercials today in this Carl Albert versus Newcastle. Maybe a rivalry that extends beyond sports. It's not a big game coming up in late April. They play in baseball, and I would love to see them play a state tournament game in baseball because they both have outstanding baseball programs, just like they have. Newcastle has a rising football program. Carl Albert's a dynasty right now, and softball they're both good. So I love hearing Carl Albert and Newcastle together for any type of big sporting event.
Yeah,
and today, unbelievable. You're going to remember these games for a long time.
2 phenomenal games that were won right down to the wire. Overtime for the boys, a shot in the final 2 seconds in the girls' game to win it. Just amazing, amazing job by all 4 of these teams. Of course, is the Newcastle Racers getting the victory in this boys 5A state championship game. I want to thank Gordy Jones for all the work he did on the sideline.
This worked out well. With Gordy. He's in fine form as our only ever for Oklahoma Sports Network basketball sideline reporter. Now, we had one sideline reporter for one playoff game a few years ago, but Gordy's made it an art here, and so it's nice to know we can do something like that when we have, our big game at one place and we have, all of us are available. And Gordy hopefully he's going to try as best he can, guys, so Newcastle fans still watching, to get some live interviews. But we are going to try to also get some recorded interviews after our stream ends.
John Trey Sloan carrying the gold ball as the Newcastle Racers head back for their team photos in the, what do we call it, the catching pin back in the back of the Coliseum.
You can call it that. And also 2 deserving seniors going out hitting game-winning shots in the state tournament game. I mean, it's the stuff that, you're a legend at your school for a long time. Jakari Brown earlier today for Carl Albert and Colton Brammer for Newcastle. Those 2, people are going to remember those names in those communities.
The gym, the Coliseum, was so loud,
yes,
Jordan, that as I'm watching the play under the basket, I did not hear the buzzer. I didn't realize time had run out.
I was a little surprised as well. I lost track of the clock, yeah.
And there was still a battle taking place, and as Newcastle started running away, and you yelled the game's over, that was the only way I knew that the clock had ended, and but they knew they had won.
I just want to say how I really have a ton of respect for Jay Price. This has happened to him twice now recently. In 2023, lost the state championship in overtime by 2 points to Del City. And now it's happened here today. These were games where, we had 2 Oklahoma Sports Network teams then and now. And, I feel bad for the guy in that sense. He still has 3. He's still a great coach. No one's going to think any less of him. And he's still great to work with.
It is hard to win a championship. When you get to the state championship game, you have accomplished so much, and the 2 teams that make it there are phenomenal. It is hard to win those games, and so congratulations. We talk about Coach Price, the great job that he has done 3 state championships to his credit. Coach Jesse Brown doing a great job at Newcastle as well.
And I think Jesse Brown was an assistant coach with PC West when they won a state title 10 years ago, beating Trey Young at the buzzer by 1 point up in Tulsa. But obviously there's no substitute for winning one as a player or as a head coach. And Jesse Brown, I mean, again, he also should become a legend now in Newcastle. And I'll be interested to see how the community, because we only mentioned 1 state title on the boys' side. The girls won a softball recently, and that's a big deal. Don't get me wrong, but I'll be interested to see how the community really celebrates this in Newcastle, because that's the difference. That's the contrast. Carl Albert wins his last state titles in every sport. They have 5 this season alone. 2 in swimming, boys and girls. Boys, all right, Jordan. Boys football. All right, hey, we got the interview. Gordy, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. What?
No.
Got the first-time champion, Coach Jesse Brown, the great Coach Jesse Brown. Coach Brown, take us through that last moment real quick.
Man, it's funny because 2 days ago, my assistant coach, Quinn Blue, we were on the bus. He said, man, I had a dream that KB hit the game winner. He's like, I don't know if it's this game or the next game, but I swear I had a dream. And so at the end of the game, I see, I think, down 2. And I'm like, man, we ain't going overtime, you know? And so I just called Pager, which is Pager out the pitcher's play. High post pass, come off a curl, and I put it in my best player's hands, man. You know, this is called playoffs, not coach-offs. Players got to make plays, and he made the biggest play tonight.
Coach, I was in a couple of your timeouts, and one of the main things that I liked about what you said, trust in me. Trust in me is what your word was. Kind of touch on that.
Man, because I trust him. You know, I believe it's a crazy twist on everything. I believe in trusting everybody. It takes too much energy not to trust people. I'm going to trust you to be you. And once I see who you are, then I can move forward with that. And these young men showed me all year long they was willing to fight, and they was willing to win it all. And so I trusted them, so I told them the same thing. You trusted me all year. Let's not get to the big stage and forget what we've done. Trust me. I got your back.
I like it. So that last play, was that something that you drew up, or was it something that you talked about and covered in that first time out?
It's a set we run. We ran it earlier to take the lead, same play, but I knew when they was getting back in transition, they were lagging behind, so I called it quick so he could just come off real fast. And he made the adjustment, actually. He didn't even set the back screen to get it. He just came right off the curl and let it go.
It's your first championship. It's the first championship that Newcastle has had in basketball ever in history. What does that say about this team and what you plan to do on going forward in the future?
Man, we built this program, man. There were some really good teams before us. When I took over this program, I think they were 3-18 or something like that. You know, no one really understood why I took over the program, but it was God, man. You know, I prayed about it. You know, it was the best fit at the moment for a first head coaching job. And so I decided to go forward, and we just worked every single day from the time I got the job, you know, to today. You know, my son graduated last year. I wish he could have been a part of this, you know, but he was right there on the sideline crying, waiting to come cheer me on, you know what I mean? So here on out, man, Newcastle's here. We've been here for a while. You know, first year in 5A, we've been 4A the whole time, and we've been right on the cusp, man. I'm just elated for these dudes, man.
Me too. So happy for you, Coach. Congratulations again. We enjoyed the whole season. Congratulations. Can't wait to see you again. All right, good luck. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Gordy. Appreciate Tracy establishing a camera shot. You see Tori Noel, the Midwest City boys coach, decided to go watch the game, and he was treated to a good one. Of course, as we found out a couple nights ago, Tori Noel was played for Jesse Brown in the AAU circuit back in the day. And we'll see if Gordy got any players you can chase, or is this going to be it?
Let me go see if I can I'm going to go, I might, all the players that went to the tunnel, we have to see if we can get them down there, Jordan.
Okay, and we're going to have, check our Facebook on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We're going to try to get some interviews there. You can see Gordy hugging LeBron Royal. LeBron Royal, just an outstanding basketball career. What a player for Carl Albert, and he will be missed. And again, what a day. So Carl Albert fans celebrated an amazing win for the girls team earlier today, and now Newcastle fans get to celebrate an amazing win as well. Both cases in different ways come from behind victories, trailing in the final seconds. And in the case of Carl Albert, it's hitting 2 free throws to tie, then drawing a charge, and then hitting the game-winning shot. All that happened in the last 10 seconds of that game. So that's how they came from behind. And then Newcastle down 2. Time running out. We got Colton Brammer hit a 3 with about 13 seconds or so to go. Carl Albert elected not to call a timeout, and their shot was off the mark, and the buzzer sounded after that as they came up short by only 1 point. Heartbreaking loss for them, but Newcastle is deserving champions, and what a night again. Our Whataburger player of the game for Carl Albert is going to be Elijah Matthews. Had a sneakily good game. Had 12 points for him. He said to me earlier he wants to be back for basketball next year, and I asked him that because, his sport's going to be football after his high school time is done. So I'm hoping to see him and these other football players, Jackson Webster, Darian Thomas, Jax Wilkerson, joining Gibson Johnson, and Austin Johnson, also a football player, joined Gibson Johnson, and Carl Albert will have a very good core next year. And it's interesting, Newcastle girls probably will be heavily favored to win 5A. So, Trace, the teams that lost today were actually the teams better positioned to win next year. Doesn't mean they will, but the teams that won today kind of felt like they had to win it if they were going to win it anytime soon.
Yeah, and of course, that doesn't take into consideration the teams that weren't here that were really good. Yep. The Memorial Chargers, the Booker T. Washington Hornets, the East Central Cardinals, and all those teams.
Booker T, I will predict, will be in 6A in basketball next year. Could be wrong, but of course, we are 5A fanatics here at the Oklahoma Sports Network because our teams are all in 5A, and what a season it's been. It looks like that will do it for the stream. We will definitely look to post interviews with the winning coach. Again, we'll have a second interview with him, Jesse Brown, the man of the hour. And the other man of the hour is Colton Graham. We hope to get him and the other starters for Newcastle. We will post those interviews on Facebook. What a season. We want to thank all the advertisers. There's so many to name. But HMS for Newcastle, Whataburger, Triple Elite for Middell, Focus Federal Credit Union, Del City Chamber of Commerce. I'm there basically them all up. Chris Dunn for Newcastle, Luigi's First United for Newcastle. For Middell, Keep It 100, which is actually, that's the other name for the podcast. Between the Lines, I should say. And, of course, the other sponsors we had, like Bobby Lewis again, SUNY Buys Houses again, Titan Storage, and more.
Patrick Newby Farmers Insurance.
Patrick Newby Farmers Insurance.
Bell Bonds by Tamara.
Bell Bonds by Tamara. And, of course, Scrambled. You should have some breakfast there tomorrow morning. So, and all the commercials you see, we thank those sponsors as well. All right, but that'll do it. Tracy's great season. Great calling games with him.
It's been a blast. We've got some baseball and softball coming up, Jordan, on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We're done with basketball.
Baseball, yes. Softball's they're mostly a fall sport at the upper level, so no to that. But maybe next year we'll get some more softball next fall. All right, that will do it here. Thanks for watching Middell and Newcastle State Final basketball on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Thanks for watching this presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.